China is home to one of the world's richest and most diverse bamboo forests. Within giant panda reserves, bamboo is not merely abundant, but indispensable, making up as much as 99% of the animal's diet and underpinning their very survival. Nearly every aspect of a panda's life revolves around bamboo. The giant panda spends much of its time eating, and then eating some more. It can spend more than half the day feeding. To understand why pandas eat so much, one must take a closer look at what exactly they are consuming. Bamboo is a woody plant, a food source that is low in nutrients, scant in protein, and rich in fiber, much of which pandas struggle to digest efficiently. To compensate, a giant panda consumes between 9 and 18 kilograms of bamboo each day. A panda's digestive system is in fact more closely related to that of a carnivore than to a typical herbivore. When not eating, the panda spends much of its time resting and defecating frequently. It spends long hours asleep, conserving energy to offset its low-calorie diet. Only a limited number of giant pandas remain in the wild, with most now protected and cared for within designated reserves. Once again, we must look to the panda's diet to understand the coloring of its coat. Unlike brown bears, pandas do not accumulate sufficient body fat to hibernate. Instead, they must continue feeding on bamboo throughout the year. The panda's black and white coloring appears to be nature's gift. The white fur helps it blend into snowy landscapes, while the black patches allow it to disappear into the cool, shaded forests it inhabits. Historically, giant pandas roamed across a far broader range than they do today. Today, giant pandas face few natural predators. Their greatest threat is no longer hunting, but the loss of bamboo habitat. The good news is that the panda's conservation status has improved in recent years. It is estimated that around 1,800 now live in the wild in China. However, giant pandas still face significant threats linked to their food supply. Expanding human development has pushed them into increasingly isolated mountain habitats. Though generally gentle by nature, giant pandas can at times be fiercely competitive when it comes to defending territory or vying for a mate. At their core, they are bears, members of a formidable carnivorous lineage in the wild. During the breeding season, they often leave scent marks to signal their presence to potential mates. Mating is typically brief. Indeed, the species has something of a reputation for clumsiness in this regard. Owing to their nutrient-poor diet, panda cubs are born remarkably small. Panda cubs are born blind, helpless, and tiny, weighing just around 5 ounces, and are entirely dependent on their mothers for survival. The mother's diet plays a crucial role. Owing to her slow metabolism, she maintains relatively low oxygen levels in her blood, a physiological adaptation that allows the cub to better tolerate and make use of oxygen outside the womb. Throughout its early development, a panda cub depends heavily on its mother's devoted care and guidance. Rarely straying far from her side, it watches and learns, gradually acquiring the skills it will need to survive on its own. From feeding to climbing, the cub quickly becomes adept. Its playful, energetic nature is evident from an early age, shaped by constant exploration and activity. It can take 3 to 4 years for a giant panda to reach full maturity and become truly independent of its mother. In the wild, the giant panda has few natural enemies. Gentle by disposition, it largely coexists peacefully with other forest dwellers, including monkeys. Its overriding task is to eat, to remain constantly well-fed, as the winter months can prove especially harsh. When winter sets in and snow blankets the landscape, the panda cannot retreat into hibernation like other bears. Instead, it must continue foraging each day, a task made more challenging as food becomes scarcer. Despite its thick fur and layers of fat, the panda spends much of the harsh winter sheltering and sleeping, conserving warmth against the bitter cold. Such is the logic